So, weed versus weed versus alcohol. Let's talk about that. So I just saw this video of Jon Stewart talking about it, and I felt like adding my 2 cents on the topic. So yeah, how do I feel? I don't understand why weed is illegal, honest to God, especially once alcohol and cigarettes are legal, because those two are far more addictive and far more harmful to the body and brain, mind, etc. In fact, it's been found that marijuana is a good way, will help with mental illness and treatment, like treatment of mental illness and related disorders such as insomnia, anxiety, depression, and bipolar disorder. And it has far less negative effects on the body than, and it's not as habit forming, or you don't develop dependence on it the way you do with a lot of psychiatric medication. Because while psychiatric medication is technically defined as non-addictive, because it's not like you crave it when you go off, but you do suffer from withdrawal if you go cold turkey on a medication. Not to mention, if you could develop a dependency, and oftentimes keep on having to up your dose because your body becomes adjusted to it until you're at a very high dose, and they can't give you anything higher. Not to mention, talking about like alcohol and cigarettes, so everyone knows cigarettes are highly addictive, and they, completely fuck up your lungs, give you cancer in either your lungs or your mouth or in your throat or various amount of places. And you smoking, just by doing it, anyone near you who can breathe the air anywhere near you is going to have the same negative effects. Even they've found that there is nicotine in secondhand smoke, so people who are exposed to a lot of secondhand smoke tend to pick up smoking later on because their brain has gotten the nicotine whateverness, and their like the nicotine has gotten into their brain, which gets them addicted. And then with alcohol, first of all, just look at how you feel the next day after a night of drinking compared to how you feel the next day after a night of getting high on weed. Let me tell you, you sleep like a baby and then you wake up and you're like, okay, cool beans, everything's fine. Whereas with alcohol, it can mess up your sleep, actually. If you take alcohol to fall asleep, you'll wake up actually and have, like, say you go to bed at like at midnight, you'll wake up at like 3 or 4 in the morning. It'll help you fall asleep, but then it won't let you stay asleep. Whereas marijuana will help you fall and stay asleep, and also the next morning, morning after, the, throwing up, headache, feeling like shit. Not to mention, everyone knows that alcohol completely destroys your liver. And also, did you know, everyone says the thing about brain cells, and you're like, marijuana kills brain cells. Actually, the amount of brain cells that marijuana kills is negligible, especially when you compare it to the amount of brain cells that alcohol kills. Alcohol kills way more brain cells than weed ever could. So, and also it's, as far as like how addictive weed is, it's actually been found to be more of a psychological addiction than a chemical addiction. The way things, a lot of other drugs are, such as alcohol or nicotine or even caffeine. Is a chemical addiction, not a habitual or psychological addiction. Well, there's a bit of chemical, obviously, because it does, do stuff to your brain chemicals to make you high. It's not, basically, you could be smoking weed a lot and then, stop. You're not going to be like jonesing for it. You aren't going to get the, withdrawal symptoms such as headaches and weakness and shakes and shit like that, like you would with even with anything else, such as nicotine, alcohol, or even fucking caffeine. And I'm using those 3 as examples because they're fucking legal. So everyone, and also the gateway drug kind of bullshit. So yeah, gateway drug bullshit is bullshit, because the thing is that I've just, even in my own experience, I know far more people who go drinking all the time who've ended up doing hard drugs than I do people who get high all the time and end up doing hard drugs. Because here's the deal. With marijuana, it makes you happy and relaxed and just kind of chill. Whereas with alcohol, it kind of breaks up everything and then makes you, and not to mention, when you smoke weed, you don't go to this crazy party where there's all this weird shit going on. Usually you smoke weed, you're by yourself or with your friends and you're while like playing video games or watching TV or some shit like that, like just chilling in your apartment or house or whatever. Whereas like alcohol, people tend to party with lots of people, and then your impairment is, or your judgment is impaired, and someone brings out some ecstasy, you're gonna try it. Someone brings out some coke, you might try it, type of deal. Not that, I meant to say you might for the both, but anyways, you get the idea. Not to mention there are far more cases of drunk driving than driving while high, because, well, like I said, you go out to party, you don't go out to smoke weed a lot of the time. Or if you do, you're just so like chill, you're like, I don't want to do anything right now, I don't want to go out and drive, you kidding, I just want to chill here forever. And yeah, so while both impair your driving abilities, you're far more likely to end up driving after a night of drinking than the other way around. And when, instead of just being like, yeah, I'm good, just flopping all over the fucking place. Because do you know what alcohol is? The drunkenness, it's technically a level of poison, like poisoning your body. It fucks everything up. It severely dehydrates you and everything else. Whereas weed just, it alters your brain chemistry for a short while to make you feel more relaxed, and it just like it raises your dopamine levels, you're more relaxed, and your serotonin levels, you're more relaxed, and you're just happy and chill about things instead of, feeling whatever. Not to mention, it does actually boost your metabolism, which is why you see all these, like, the weed, you get the munchies and everything else, and you see, like, all these people who smoke weed a lot and get all the munchies and whatever, and they're still thin, is because weed actually does help you metabolize faster and keep you thinner, too, so it's good for you there. Especially compared to other legal drugs, I don't understand why weed is illegal. It is not a bad drug. In fact, it's safer than any other legal drug, pretty much. So, no drug is without its negative side, of course, but, if we're comparing to, it's the lesser of 10 evils, if you will. So, come on. I don't get why it's illegal. It's really not dangerous at all. And if any of you ask, yes, I've smoked weed before, and yeah, the only time I had any issue with it was when I had alcohol with it, and I ended up just going kind of like, let's do everything and just like relax and crap like that, because and it didn't cause me to. My sister smokes weed like with friends a lot, and she hasn't tried hard drugs. Same with my stepbrother and a friend of mine. A friend of mine smokes weed all the fucking time, and he's never touched hard drugs, and he never drinks. It's all he does is he smokes weed every now and then. He has a marijuana card though, so. But yeah, like I said, it just treats things like anxiety or whatever. And personally, I have a take as needed pill for my anxiety disorder, and the effects of the pill and the effects of weed are pretty much the same. Only the pill, it's take one or two. If I take two, it's like I freaking got high on weed. If I take one, but again, one's not always as effective. But yeah, so come on, make it legal. It's stupid for it to be illegal, because it's not dangerous, and you're just putting people in jail and keeping them from being contributive members of society for no fucking reason. Alright, that's my 2 cents. Thanks for listening.